Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
I thought this was going to be hard.
Welcome to Deges and Dragons.
Who wants some of the Ripper?
They're state champs, baby. Woo!
He's clearly Captain. I'm a man of the people.
Shattered world.
Ripper knows. Ripper always knows. Degecast.
And welcome to another episode of the Degecast, the supplemental podcast for our YouTube show, Deges and Dragons. I'm your host, Nate Lindberg, and you can find me on Twitter at Nate Lindberg. And be sure to follow our brand on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at DegeTime. So to celebrate the end of season 1 of Deges and Dragons, over the past couple of weeks, we've been catching up and checking in with the developers of some of the games that we've played throughout the course of the year. Joining me today is the man behind one of my favorite games of the season, Clink, the game where if you can flip a coin, you can play an RPG. Now, if I had to guess, he might have a cup of tea in hand. Here to talk about Clink, any project that he has is working on, anything else, or anything else that we want to wind up chatting about. It's David Schirduan. David, welcome back to the Degecast.
Hey, Nate. Thanks for having me on. I'm always excited to talk with y'all, and it's been really cool to see all the cool things you guys have been doing with RPGs and exploring their potential as therapy tools and how they can positively impact people beyond, pure entertainment. I know I've recently been doing a lot more therapy. This is like the year of therapy for me and a lot of other people, I bet. And it's been cool to see that paired with my hobbies. It's been a great mix. Definitely. And I've got Clink in the hands of Jack Birkenstock from the Bodana Group down in Pennsylvania. And he said he read through the game, I think it was about a week after I got it to him. He read through the book like 4 times. He was super excited to actually sit down and play it with the group because of the potential that he saw with it, and just how easy, because of how easy it is to pick up and play. Yeah, that's really good to hear. I appreciate that. It makes me smile. Because when I first pitched Clink, Ben Dutter from Sigilstone, he took it. It was like 5 or 6 pages of rules, and he took it and ran with it and turned it into something beautiful. So it's cool to see that bring joy to other people. That's a win for me. No, by far. And we played Clink at the Bodana Group's virtual convention, Save Against Fear. October. I think it was late October, early November. We got the playthrough up on the YouTube page, but it was really cool because everybody that played was either a therapist themselves or actually, the only person that wasn't a therapist was one of the therapist's husbands played because he didn't have anything else to do that night. He's like, I want to play. So we ended up having 5 people play, which was cool. But every single one of them really, really enjoyed it. And we sat down with them, had kind of a bit of a therapeutic wrap up at the end, which is which we usually do at the end of any of the game series that we play. And maybe all of them had nothing but good things to say. We sent them all a complimentary copy, thanks to you, which we do appreciate. And I know all of them appreciate it as well. Yeah, it's just so cool to support that and be a part of it. And I'll take any boost to my ego that I can get. I'll take it. This year especially. Tell me about it. So actually, hey, boost to your ego. Congratulations. He just became a homeowner. I did just become a homeowner. I am sitting in a room with about 7 unpacked boxes. So that's how you know. That's how you know. Well, then again, I've been here for about 5 years and I still have about 7 unpacked boxes, probably in the basement, but still. So, no. So, kind of just wanted to bring you on tonight, talk about some of the things that you've been doing. I know one of the things that you've been working on is a YouTube show of your own. That showcases kind of your love for tea, which I thought was really cool. I guess it was a bit of a phase. I went through a bit of a tea phase for a little while. And then I kind of found a love for iced coffee and then it just never went back. But I still love to sit down with a cup of tea every once in a while and watching just kind of the care and the interest that you put into a cup of tea is really interesting. So what started off is just, you describe it as a show, but I think there's only 3 episodes up right now. And I don't know if I'll make any more because I don't know if you know this, Nate, but editing a show is a lot of work. Really? I had no
Yeah,
idea.
I know you
Wow.
won't believe it, but it's true.
I had absolutely no clue.
It was funny because I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I was like, you know what? I've got a little more time. I'm not really working on any games right now, so let's do some audio visual stuff and learn some basic video editing stuff. And I really enjoyed it for the first 3 episodes, and I haven't been able to work up the motivation to make more. But I have enjoyed making those, and maybe I will get back to it at some point. I know that Conrad was kind enough to give me his microphone so that I could produce those. I ended up making 2 podcasts and 3 YouTube videos. So for me, that's a wild success. Even if I never touch it again, that was worthwhile.
No, hey, absolutely, dude, absolutely. Anytime you can do something creative, I'm on board. I'm on board. You know. So what other things are you working on then? You said you kind of weren't working on any RPGs. So are you working on something new at the moment?
So yeah, the only project that's on my plate is a game called Ripe. I've been working on it for a little over a year. It's definitely something I've had to retool and revise a lot. I've redesigned this thing like 3 or 4 times, and I keep pausing and taking breaks so that I can make sure I'm correctly representing the core concept, which is basically about old adventurers fighting monsters and going on adventures. So like
Okay.
a lot of media that I enjoy and read, people are old when they're about 35 or 40. Like, oh, that's an old soldier. He's 43. And my dad is about mid 60s and he still kicks ass and works on houses and could definitely take me in a fight. So I wanted to make a game that would explore sort of the fantasy of being like this old grizzled adventurer, like 65, 70 years old, going toe to toe with dragons and stuff. So that's kind of like the goal for Ripe, and it's gone through a lot of twists and turns. But that's sort of my side project right now.
I remember you. I do remember you talking about that actually last time, because Conrad got super excited about it, thinking like, the only time you hear anything about like older guys in fantasy, like Gandalf or something like that, it's always like somebody that's hundreds or thousands of years old, but you don't really ever get somebody that's or often anyway, that's kind of in that age range that's still a total badass.
Well, and it's funny you bring the Lord of the Rings as an example, because like exactly like you say, Gandalf is 20,000 years old or whatever. He's basically like an angel or something.
Yeah.
But Legolas is 4,000 years old. But in the original books, Frodo was like 50 something or 60 something. Bilbo was also pretty much an adult when he went on his adventures. And the movies never really portrayed that. I mean, Frodo in the movies looks like he's 15 years
15,
old.
yeah.
So it's funny that the Lord of the Rings had that element of a bunch of older adults going on adventures, and we've kind of lost that with a lot of the reimaginings.
Absolutely.
So the Ripe has been fun because I've gotten to interview and work with a lot of older people and talk like, interview people who are 65, 70 and be like, what does an adventure look like for you? What does your energy level look like? What would it take for you to fight a dragon? And that's been a lot of cool gameplay, role-playing stuff to explore.
So my dad is in that age range, and I'm thinking to myself, what would it take for my dad to fight a dragon? And you said energy levels, and I think he might think about it, and that would be about it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like you've got all this experience and all this like life knowledge and all these skills that you've mastered and hobbies and odd jobs that you've done over the years, but you just can't walk on your knees for too long. So it's like, how does that translate to a empowerment fantasy?
Right.
So that's kind of been the struggle of Ripe, is like, I could make it 5e with a penalty to your strength, but that's not really the same as fully experiencing and exploring the fantasy of being this badass person in an aging body.
Right. Yeah. Like with almost like a penalty for arthritis or something like that, like But still, I get what you're saying, and it's certainly an interesting concept, and like because you always do when you're playing an RPG, for the most part you're playing a powerful character that probably doesn't have an ailment or anything like that. You want to be you want to be fantastical, you want to be a powerful player, and this kind of this, from what it sounds like, it allows you to still explore that, but then like almost kind of like the I think it's the episode 5 Star Wars Yoda fight scene where he's a complete badass with the lightsaber, and then as soon as it's done he like picks up his cane and he walks away. You're kind of same type of a deal. You go through your you go through your adventure, but then at the end of the day you're like, oh, my back.
Yep, exactly. The details are still coming together. This is one that's been on the back burner for a while, and I have no idea when it'll be done, but it's been a blast to work on and experiment with.
That's awesome.
No, most of my family's local, so we'll just have some small, COVID-sized family gatherings. Try to relax here. I recently moved into a new house, and that's taken a lot of my energy and a lot of my creativity and motivation. So I'm mostly just playing video games. I'm hoping to publish 1 or 2 games that other people are working on in the next couple months, but
nice.
For me, I'm mostly just keeping my head above water and trying to not to get fired from my day job.
I totally get that. Kind of doing the same. Well, I wouldn't say trying not to get fired. I'm still doing my thing. I'm doing my thing, but I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. But no, Dave, this was great. Like I said, just wanted to check up, see what was going on.
Yeah, thanks for touching base, Nate. It was really good to chat with you, and I'm looking forward to recovering from this move and getting back into the groove and shit posting on Twitter and doing some more game design stuff.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We'll be in touch. So I'm sure whether or not we have you on the show, actually on Deeges and Dragons proper to play a game, or we may end up revisiting Clink. I've talked about it a couple times on the Degecast before, and it's one of these projects that I keep like putting off. It's like I've got some great ideas for it, but I'm actually writing a story that I'm going to be I think I'm going to be using the Clink system for. I was originally going to be using Kids on Bikes, but I think I'm going to use Clink instead.
I'm so excited.
But it's probably going to be it's going to be a ways down the road, but it is something. It is something I'm working on. So, like you said, editing a show takes a lot of time.
Yes,
a lot of time, and
yes, it does.
Right now, we're in the middle of, or we just started filming season 2. So now I have all of season 2 to edit.
Well, and your viewers probably won't hear this, but I put in lots of ums and awkward pauses and lip smacks just for you, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, and a big thank you to David Schirduan for sitting down with me tonight, checking in and talking about what he's got going on. If you want to check out any of the games that he has released, such as Clink, or if you want to take a look at Ripe and see what's going on with Ripe, check his stuff out at www.technicalgrimoire.com. Guys, this has been another episode of the Degecast, and please come back next week when we're talking to Bear Winters. Catch you later, guys.